Have you ever wondered what the best titles are out of the 7 titles that come in the Columbia Classics 4K Volume 3 box set? Well, let's talk about it. Today, I'm back with another Mega Physical Media ranking video for you all. Today, I'm going to ranking all 7 titles in the Columbia Classics Volume 3 4K box set from the worst to the best. And you heard right, yes, 7 titles, including the secret title I discovered. That's going to be included on this ranking list as well. But let's go ahead and start with title number 7 at the very bottom here. This is going to be the secret title, which is the remake that It Happened One Night, which you can find on the disc in there, which is You Can't Run Away From It. So this one is a remake that's in color. The original one was in black and white. And I put this one at the bottom because to me, it doesn't really add anything new that's super special. It doesn't do anything very different that's really intriguing and that upgrades the movie overall. Yeah, it's a movie that's now remade in color, but doesn't do too much for me there, unfortunately. I just think the chemistry isn't as good between the main characters. I just don't feel the performances are as strong. And so overall, it's a story I've already seen before with the classic, of course, just not done in a better way. So unfortunately, have to put this one at the bottom of the list. But now moving on to number 6, and this is going to be The Last Picture Show, another black and white title, but this was actually a choice by the creators to make it black and white because this one could have been in color with the, of course, time period it came out in. Now, this is a coming of age story. There's a lot of drama, a lot of romances back and forth, love triangles, weird relationships. I mean, however you want to say it, a lot going on in here, of course. Now, I like coming of age stories, but usually with the coming of age stories I really enjoy, they sprinkle in comedy. This one is just a straight up drama. So yeah, definitely gonna get some heartfelt emotions in here. But overall, once again, it's just nothing too great in comparison to other coming of age stories I've seen. Also, the choice to make it black and white, I don't think benefited the movie. I would have actually probably liked to see this movie in color. Now, I do like the idea of The Last Picture Show and having the movie theater in there. I think that's an intriguing idea, but they don't really focus too much on the movie theater. That part's just kind of sprinkled in a little bit, and I wish maybe that would have been more at the forefront of the movie as a centerpiece setting. Just something in this movie to me just wasn't fully working by the end of it. Not a bad movie, still put together well enough, just in comparison to the other choices, I had to leave it at number 6. So that is going to be The Last Picture Show. All right, next up at number 5 is going to be To Sir with Love, a Sidney Poitier film. Now this one is in color. And this movie, I initially liked the premise here. It's a fish out of water story. You got the main character who's basically going to a school to teach, and he doesn't really fit in. You know, he looks different than everybody else there. But he starts to make connections with the students, and it is kind of intriguing in that way. You know, I like that story where you basically get somebody that comes into an environment where they really don't fit in, but at first, but then once again, they somehow find their way in there, and actually students start to look up to this person. They start to learn respect because, you know, they're all kind of mischievous before, causing havoc and trouble, but then, right, some manners are shown. I mean, this teacher sets a great example. So I really like the premise for this movie once again, but I don't know, by the end of it, I didn't feel it was like one of the best movies I've seen of this kind of premise. You know, I really like movies like Coach Carter or Life of a King. I think those movies hit more home to me just personally with all the performances involved. So even though still a solid good title here, just once again in comparison to the other ones, I had to put this one at number 5. All right, next up, we're going to have a number 4, and this is going to be From Here to Eternity. Yes. So this title, when it first started, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not feeling this one at all. This one kind of looks a little bit boring, almost a snooze fest. I just wasn't getting into it. But as it goes along, it does pick up a little bit of steam. It gets better. Basically, you got people kind of at a military training facility of sorts. You got somebody who was known as a great boxer before. People kind of want him to get back into it, but he doesn't really want to go that route. People are picking fight with each other. People don't like each other in here. And yeah, you just kind of get a lot of drama back and forth. But I really like once it gets into that final act and you got the Pearl Harbor bombing, and then it just kicks into high gear and it just completely shifts gears, and then everybody's working together at the base, and in that conflict right in that moment. It's kind of interesting to see it. Okay, emergency situation. Now all these people are coming together to fight a bigger threat. So that was kind of an initial interesting idea to me when I saw that. I'm like, okay, that caught me off guard. Okay, I like where this is going. So by the end of it, I think I enjoyed it more than the beginning. But I don't know, just once again, in comparison to like other war movies, war dramas, just isn't one of my favorite ones out there. But still a good movie, still a solid movie for its time. Yes, of course, it's in black and white, very classic movie. So still solid, just once again, I had to put it at this number 4 spot. Once again, in comparisons to these other movies out here. So let's get into now our top 3. Third place is going to be It Happened One Night. Now this, once again, is the most classic movie in the box set here. Black and white, of course, but this movie moves at a good pace. It's like a romantic comedy. You got this person who's running away from a marriage she doesn't want to get into, that her father wants to get into. Her rich father. It's basically designated as, hey, you're going to marry this person. She's not feeling it. She dips out. She meets another person along the road who, offers her help to kind of get her to where she wants to get going. And then, of course, romantic comedies, you know what happens. Sparks are going to fly. They start to like each other, all that good stuff. But there's really good comedy in here. I was still laughing at quite a few moments in here, even though it is a classic movie. For some reason, I found out that, classic movies, a lot of the comedies actually hold up really well, which kind of caught me off guard, but that is great. So definitely some good moments in here, some moments that are going to make you smile, make you chuckle, and it's a pretty quick-paced movie once again, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. Simple story premise, executed fairly well. I think the characters have good chemistry in here. Like I said, I much prefer this one to its remake of You Can't Run Away From It. Definitely It Happened One Night. Much prefer this one. So that's why I had to give it third place. I think I'm going to watch that one a little bit more than the other ones lower on this list. All right, now to get into my top 2. And this was definitely a tough pick because, on any other day I could kind of flip these ones back and forth because I think these titles are both quite good, even, almost on the edge of greatness in my opinion. So I think these are the 2 standout titles in this box set for me personally. But let's get into it. So second place, runner up here, and I didn't think I was going to like this one as much as I did. But we got Annie. Yes, the 80s Annie here. We know the story of Orphan Annie. Basically gets to, go away for a week with this rich person that's trying to kind of help out his image. So that's why he takes on an orphan for a certain amount of time. But, Annie is just a delight in this movie. She's so nice to everybody. And then everybody just kind of wants her around. And yeah, it's that classic Annie story, but the music is phenomenal. So many memorable songs like It's a Hard Knock Life, For Us. I mean, you're just gonna get that song stuck in your head after you see this movie. The music is great. I really like the story. The performances here, fantastic all around. Even, the villains that are trying to, fool in, Annie to get, some money by pretending to be parents and things like that. I think all of it works. I think it's a really good setup story. First act, middle act, third act, all flows together perfectly. It builds up, ends really well. I mean, I can't complain too much about Annie. And I really like musicals. One of the best musicals of all time. I think this is a great adaptation of that. Just excellent, excellent. Can't go wrong with some Annie. All right, next, we're going to get into first place, number 1. And these were all, once again, first watches for me. So this was a completely Blind Buy box set, but I really like this movie at the number 1 spot. And I'm going to have to go first place with As Good as It Gets. I mean, this movie is excellent. I didn't really know where it was going at the beginning, but then it picked up steam. You got Jack Nicholson, you got Helen Hunt, and Greg Kinnear all give phenomenal performances. I mean, Jack Nicholson in particular, just wow, this performance was so good. Oh, it was so good. This movie has romance, has drama, has a little bit of humor in there, almost I would say like a dark humor in a way, but there were moments that I would just randomly kind of chuckle or laugh out loud. I don't know if I was supposed to, but it had those moments in there. But it's just a story that you could really see as, okay, these could be actual people happening in a real life scenario. I'm buying into it. I'm buying into the chemistry with everybody, the relationships every character has with each other, you know, the unlikely weird friendships that are forming. Totally buying into it. I mean, it's just great all around. And like I said, the talent in here is awesome. You even get Cuba Gooding Jr. in here. The dog is excellent. I mean, just all around great. And once again, it just has a lot of genres mixed together very well, but with stellar performances. I believe Jack Nicholson and Helen Hunt got actor awards for this one. So you really can't go wrong with this movie, in my opinion. It's the most modern out of these classics in this box set, but I'm so glad they did decide to include this one, because this is the one where I could see, you know what, I think I'm going to pull this one out of the box more often than the other movies, just kind of when I want a feel-good romantic movie that just, I think it ends really well too. I love how it begins. I love all the character arcs people go through, what they learn throughout the story. To me, it just fits so perfectly. And like I said, the ending is very delightful. These characters you end up liking these characters. Even at first, you know, some of the characters, like Jack Nicholson character, I don't know if I'm going to like you in this movie. By the end, you actually, you know, find a lot of these characters endearing. So, have to go with As Good as It Gets for first place. But there we go. That is my ranking. Now, this was just my personal list. I know everybody's ranking list out there is going to be way completely different with these titles. So, let's have everybody leave in the comments below how you would rank all these movies out of the Columbia Classics Volume 3 4K set. And just in general, what do you think of this box set? Did you like this box set? Did you think it was an upgrade or a downgrade from the other Columbia Classic sets? Let's have these fun movie discussions down below. And if you're visiting the channel for the very first time and you love collecting physical media and being part of this awesome league of mega film fans, make sure you subscribe right now. That way you stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics.
So he can see God's beautiful work. And he'll know that even things like this happen for the best.
And if you enjoyed this physical media topic video, click another video to see more. Also like the video. And this is Mega Mike the Movie Man reminding you to make every day a movie day.